No intro.
That's the way we roll.
Never an intro.
No.
Other than to say reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
What? You were reported dead? Oh, right, because you were coughing the last time we were on the air. I remember now. I
thought some people might have had questions. Not concerns or worries, but
Cal is fine.
Just questions.
Back in the saddle.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Well, we'll see. It's the little things. The littlest things.
Yes.
Set me off.
Okay.
I've talked about this already.
Continue.
You know how you turn on the oven and you are heating it up?
Yes.
Let's go real slow. The metal expands slightly. Don't encourage me.
What?
And unless your oven is spotless, it's burning. It's burning bits of things that have fallen in there. So there's a little bit of particulate in the air, And for a normal person, you might say, "Oh, is the oven on? You're preheating the oven?"
Right.
I would say, because just that little bit, gets in and just sets it off.
I see.
No more baking.
No more baking.
And I've been baking up a storm. Let me tell you. My metaphors are to die for.
Wow.
So.
Wow. You're very sensitive.
Picked up this wow. You're just wowing now all the time.
Yeah. Okay. You're just very sensitive. You've got a.
I am sensitive.
You've got a delicate palate.
That's not what that means.
Yeah. Well,
that's not right.
You pick up scents that other people wouldn't pick up.
Oh, well, that's, I have a impressive olfactory sense. But
yes.
That doesn't have anything to do with
why it would make you choke and feel terrible.
Choke and feel terrible. I feel terrible about where this has ended up.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Let's just move on to the films.
All right.
Which I would say, because this is COVideos providing reviews of classic and modern films for your quarantainment. And that quarantainment is coming to quarantainment.
You think so?
Well, the state we live in, it's over in a couple days. Less than a week. And lots of other states are already out there. Now, you can quibble over, the size of a gathering that you can have or the type of business that's open. But, many states are completely open. And most states, you can be seen with other people in public.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I guess I would debate whether it's done, but...
yeah, well, I just prepared everybody for you to debate that.
Yeah, okay.
But you're not bringing anything new.
So you think, is this the end of COVideos then? Is this our last episode?
I can't go forever.
No, I know.
This is why we sort of put, I don't know if we talked about this in the air, but we've doffed the random selection dice system for now.
Yeah.
Just because anticipating the end of this, we are getting the cream, if you will, out of the crop of our lists. Mm-hmm. So we've had a couple bangers recently, some of which we'll talk about today. But yeah, I think it's kind of winding down.
Okay.
How do we want to go out?
I don't know.
Bang or whimper?
Well, of course a bang.
Then a whimper. No. Weird. I will say that, as far as states opening back up, and some are more open than others, North Carolina did have its highest one-day spike of new infections just a couple days ago. Yeah, so
that's not great.
Seems like it's working. Everything's going according to plan.
Yeah, this seems bad. This seems like a bad idea.
No.
I read an article that talked about activities that
it's no worse than a cold. This is the 19th coronavirus. We've gone... The 18 more didn't kill us, right? We've come this far.
This has never been this bad before.
No, you don't. First of all of those were completely false and incorrect and beetle-headed talking points.
Yeah, I know.
But don't point that out. Just immediately...
okay.
You're a true liberal. Immediately accepting everything and then just trying to defend. Want to talk about movies?
Yeah, let's talk about movies.
What was your movie?
My movie was Speed.
That one with I'm trying to do. There's some movies about speed, right? Somebody tried to do for heroin what Trainspotting did, and it's Spun. It's called Spun, and it's got, I think the girl from American Beauty in it, and somebody else.
Okay,
I think maybe Alan Cummings in it. Maybe, don't quote me on that.
Whoa, all right.
And it's just wow. We just gotta keep getting this.
I've never heard of it before, so it must be great.
Semi-charmed kind of life. That's about Speed.
Wow. Okay. All right. No, I'm talking about the movie where they can't get off of a bus because...
Hey, I do the recap.
I know. All right, so...
Speed, 1994.
Yes. Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock. Those are the two main leads. Of course, Jeff Daniels. And help me out.
Dennis Hopper.
Thank you. I was like... I wanted to say Harvey Keitel, and I was like, that is not correct.
What do you do? What do you do? Yeah, I could see that, though.
But I knew that was wrong. So, yes, Dennis Hopper.
Yes. 1994 action movie directed by Jan de Bont, a Dutch cinematographer who worked he worked with Verhoeven a lot.
Oh, okay.
And he also worked, well, maybe not a lot, but he did Turkish Delight and did some of his early films.
Okay, sure. Which we've talked about on
we've talked about just about every Verhoeven / Rutger Hauer film on this show. You can look in our backlog for that. He was on Die Hard. Funny story, a lot of this movie came out of his experiences on Die Hard, sort of learning from John McTiernan on that, right?
Uh-huh.
And also working on Hunt for Red October, another McTiernan film. And, worked for Verhoeven on Basic Instinct. Okay. So he's a guy, who was ready to step behind the megaphone, I guess, and do his own thing. Hasn't actually directed a ton of films, though.
Okay.
He directed Speed. That was his first film.
Sure.
Twister. He did do Speed 2.
Twister was pretty good.
Yeah, and he directed The Haunting and the Lara Croft film, the second one, I think, not the first one.
Okay. So, was that the Angelina Jolie one? Or
she did too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And that is it.
Huh. Well, that's a very small window. I wonder why he's not doing stuff anymore.
Well, he's up there now. Okay. But he's 76.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, he's, just maybe take it easy. He's Jan DePunt.
I know.
He's loaded.
Probably doesn't need to do anything more, yeah.
And he was married for a while to the co-star of Turkish Delight, Monique Van de Ven.
Oh, okay. I feel like we talked about that.
Maybe.
When we did it. Like, the cinematographer, or whatever. Was he the cinematographer on that?
Yes, he was.
That he was married to her, yeah.
Couldn't you tell? Oh, wow. Amazing.
Wow.
I mean, it's not.
I don't know.
It's like, what, 1973 or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, it's a very early film. We're all kind of
is.
figuring it out. He really captured all those dicks just, like, perfectly.
It's a weird film. There's a lot going on.
Here's what happens at Speed. Jack Traven. What is this? A video game from the 90s?
Yeah, right.
Or from now. Jack Traven is an LA cop. We don't know what. Bomb squad, I guess. He knows a lot about bombs. He seems to be like a special kind of cop, but whatever. Mm-hmm. And they are responding to a bomb threat.
Yes.
Somebody's going to blow up an elevator.
Yes.
And it does get blown up. And his partner and Jeff Daniels and him have to work to save the hostages. They do. But then old Jack's got that cop sense. Mm-hmm. He knows something's not right here.
Yeah.
And they find out that the bomber is still on the premises. And so they try to stop him from getting away, and he takes Jeff Daniels hostage. And it seems like a bad situation. It's Dennis Hopper is the bomber. By the way.
Right.
And there's a little bit where they talk about like how to, diffuse a hostage situation, and you just shoot the hostage. So he does that. Bomber runs away, explodes. We think, oh, that's the end of that.
Right.
And the movie. I mean, it's a movie about a bomb on a bus, so you're wondering what's going on. But the movie kind of treats it like, oh, that's it, and then we're just going to have some fun and see what else goes on.
Uh-huh.
But no, as soon as Jack gets his coffee, not the next morning. They don't make it very clear.
It's not the next morning.
Maybe a couple
time
weeks.
Has passed.
Couple weeks later.
Yeah.
A bus explodes, and Jack, in the midst of this crisis, answers a ringing payphone because the movie has to go. It's got to start. And it turns out that it is our mad bomber on the other end. And he
Yes.
tells Jack that there's another bomb on a bus. And he tells him the number, you can find the bus.
2525.
If the bus, is that like a Zappa
I don't
reference?
know. I don't know if it is or
I
not.
could see it. It's a maybe Dennis Hopper. And he tells him, you better get on that bus because there's a bomb on it. And if once the bus goes, 45 miles an hour or whatever, the bomb activates. And when the bus goes below 50, it explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And so the entire movie becomes a race to a 116-minute race. It's not that long, thank God. To keep the bus going, in L.A. traffic.
Yeah, and they can't get any of the hostages off the
Hijinks
bus
ensue.
either.
Yeah.
Hijinks do ensue.
This movie made $350 million on a $30 million budget, which, was probably about middle of the road for an action movie back then.
Uh-huh.
And so, obviously, there's going to be a sequel.
Obviously.
Which we're not going to talk about on this show. But breakout
the premise is ridiculous. I have not seen it, but the premise is ridiculous.
breakout role for Sandra Bullock. Real breakout role for Keanu Reeves in a lot of ways, too.
Mm-hmm.
And, Joe Morton's there. Just being solid. And
Was he
Jeff Daniels is just keeping his career alive
Was
until
Joe
the
Morton
newsroom.
the police chief?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he's great in everything.
He was fantastic.
He's great in Brother from Another Planet. Like, he's awesome in everything. He's
brother
great.
brother from another planet.
Don't worry about it. He was Miles Dyson in Terminator 2.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's great. What are you doing? Oh, you're being him from Terminator 2. Okay.
Yeah. let's do
out.
obscure movie impressions. Who's this? But you know who it is right away.
I know who
You're-
doing because you just mentioned it.
Your
but,
turn.
I'm not gonna do one.
Okay, I'll do another one. Mommy.
Are you Dirk Diggler?
What? Oh no, I was huffing nitrous there. That was Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet.
Oh! I
He even
see.
gave you a clue.
I see. Okay, all right.
What'd you think? Whoa, this is 100% pure adrenaline. No, that's Point Break. This is, you won't believe what it is. That's The Matrix. Look, Keanu Reeves has been in a lot of high-octane films, okay?
I thought it was, pretty solid for an action movie. I mean, I guess you believe the premise because this guy is crazy, right?
He's a mad bomber. What I want to know
right.
is, are there any, non-mad bombers? Happy bombers?
No, I think
Sedate
all bombers are mad.
bombers.
So why do we put that in front of them? Why
Yes.
aren't they just bombers?
Yeah, I will bomb.
Right.
Kaboom.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and then we find out later he's a disgruntled former cop.
Yes.
And
Well, that's, it's a little, I like that. That was a little motivation.
I thought that was nice. Well, what I want to know, I can't remember. So they talk about gold watches while they're trying to defuse the hostage situation in the elevator.
Yeah, this movie is written by Graham Yost, who wrote a couple sort of action and genre picks of the day. He wrote Broken Arrow, which we talked about
Yes.
on Just Enough Trope recently.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of naked plant and payoff in this film.
Yeah, right.
And that's fine. I mean, it's serviceable.
Uh-huh.
Like right before he shoots Jeff Daniels, I guess they set up this bit which we don't get to do anything with because those two are separated for the rest of the movie. But
That's true.
Where he's the older cop, so he's kind of quizzing him, and he's like, "Okay, here's one while we're hanging around.
Right.
You're at the airport, terrorists got a hostage, or whatever." And so then 5 minutes later, he has to play that scenario out.
Right. You shoot the hostage. Yeah. But he tells him to, and then he gives him a hard time about it for the rest of the film. Like, you shot me.
Yeah.
You know? Their relationship is great. I think it's believable. I like that Keanu Reeves is a hotshot cop, which gives him more to do than there's a guy on the bus and he has to keep everybody calm. It's like, no, he's a cop. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but for a hotshot cop though, he's real. This movie doesn't have any time for character development. So much so that it's like, we need a Goonie guy. Hey, Cameron, are you free?
Yeah, I know.
And stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
Alan
then
Ruck
everybody
is in
else is
this.
just cast essentially by race. So it has no time for that. But the
yeah.
most interesting character nuance to me was Keanu Reeves is the hotshot cop, But then as soon as he's in a situation, crisis situation, he's dealing with civilians, he's all like, ma'am, can we please do this? And I need you to do this. And he's like snapping back to that academy training that I imagine that he didn't even know that he remembered, because he's like, whatever, hotshot cop.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely.
He never did anything to that gum, did he?
No, he's chewing gum in the
He's chewing
first
gum,
part.
and I'm like, oh, so he's going to stick that on the bomb or something.
No,
just chewing gum.
No, he's just chewing gum. Just a character choice, I
Had
guess.
a Van Damme day that day.
Yeah. So like, there's this whole thing about him getting on the bus, and he basically jumps. No, wait. He pulls his gun out or his badge out on this guy, who has, of course, a really nice car and happens to be black. And he's like, "Man, what are you doing?"
Looks a little different in
Yeah,
2020. Doesn't
I
it?
know, right?
Yeah.
And he jumps in his car, and of course his car gets ruined. But like this guy's like helping him, and he's trying to get him on the bus, and he gets him on the bus. But it's kind of a cool like action scene, getting him on the bus. But these are things that have to happen in order for the movie to continue.
The best part, though, is it's a convertible. It has to be a nice car, so it's a convertible.
Yeah.
But then he does that trick where he's like, okay, I got to get on the bus. And he's like,
I
are you
know.
insured? Brrr, and blows the door off. The
know.
bus blows the door off. And it's like,
You could have just jumped out.
you can just walk out. It's a rag top.
Right. No, that's a good point.
If they had taken any time to develop that character, black guy,
I know.
maybe he's being a real jerk. And Keanu Reeves is like, well, we got to find a way to get on this bus.
Yeah,
Close the door.
right. That would have been maybe a better choice. And then, of course, we have all the people who are on the bus, and like the one lady who's like freaked out, and even though they're not supposed to leave the bus, and our Mad Bomber is watching the entire time.
Yeah.
And so he blows a secondary bomb, which I think was kind of like, was kind of surprised. Like, he didn't blow the actual bomb, but I guess he still wants his money.
Yeah.
So he blows a secondary bomb, which he rigged.
Yeah.
And
That's the warning bomb.
Yeah. And that lady's just gone.
Yeah. Freaked out older ladies are the real problem in this film. If they just listen to Jack. But they won't get out of the elevator, and they will get off the bus when they're not supposed to.
I know.
But again, no time for characterization at all.
No.
And there's like 2 seconds where, I mean, I guess it's a nice little moment between Jack and Maggie, Martha.
Oh, what is her
Millie.
name? Why can't I
say
remember
it,
her name?
They say it a million times.
They say it a million times, but I
The
can't remember
Wildcat.
Sandra Bullock's name. Yeah. They refer to her as Wildcat.
But yeah, where he's like, "What? You okay?" She's like, "Oh, when the bomb went off, I thought that was it. We were all dead, and then I realized that we weren't, and only that lady was dead, and I was happy about it, and I feel bad about feeling happy." I was like, "Well, that's a nice, that's an interesting, complicated sort of feeling."
Yeah.
Room speed. We got to keep going.
Well, and then like we have another guy on the bus who's like a criminal, so he's freaked out that there's a cop there, and he pulls out a gun and he shoots the original bus driver.
Yeah. Well,
which is I know another
thank
thing.
God he was Hispanic. That guy's.
I know.
He's going over the wall.
Whoa. And I thought the bus driver, I thought he did a good job.
Jack, he's got a weird kind of formal name, but he's in a lot of things like this.
Okay. But yeah, I felt really bad for him. He seemed like he was a good bus driver. Everybody knew his name.
It is Maggie.
Is it Maggie?
It's got to be.
Okay, I don't remember.
If only we could look it up somehow.
If we could
some
look
sort
it
of
up
vast
on
digital
some sort of
network
device, that would be great.
The information that we're looking for.
So yeah, there's
Annie.
just a bunch of Annie. That's what it is. There are a bunch of different conceits because, of course, this movie has to go on, and we have to build tension and everything.
Yeah.
And so
how they say that? Well, I don't know if they do it still, but they used to say that they teach Tootsie in screenwriting classes because of it's structured well.
Okay.
It's funny. It's serious. A lot of it is Bill Murray improvising. I don't know how you can teach that. And so that's all good. I bet that they used to teach speed. It's like, welcome to Action Movie 101. Let's face it. You're never going to be Robert Towne. Let's do this. And look at speed. Speed's like, we set everything up. Do the thing. I'm sure if you did that thing where you look at how, like, half an hour in, something has to happen, or like at the end of the first act.
I bet you're right.
I bet it all works out.
It all lines up.
We set up, funny Alan Ruck, who was supposed to be, that character was supposed to be like an asshole lawyer who's just kind of, the Dr. Smith of the bus, and then eventually he like gets killed at the end in some
Whoa.
comeuppance sort of way. But anyway, then they cast Alan Ruck, and it was like, oh, well, we'll just have him be Alan Ruck and just be goofy.
We'll just be a goofball.
But you set him up; he's a tourist, so now all of his bits are going to be like, I've seen the airport. Like,
but that was a good line.
Yeah. You know who wrote that line? Probably Joss Whedon.
Probably.
Who did a punch-up
Yes.
or possibly like a ground-up rewrite of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows.
It does. I mean, they have the part where the freeway is out up ahead. So,
Yeah.
which is so crazy.
That's just science fiction.
I know, right?
What
but
if they had
then,
a
like,
thing-
they're like, okay, we have to jump it, and then they jump it, and they actually made it. and
What if
it's
they took
wow.
cop cars are supercharged, right? I don't know if this even work, but it's about weight. It's not about velocity. Gravity
Right.
still exists.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper never said they couldn't, attach like a helicopter to the bus or something like that, or
Right. I mean, I guess as long as the speedometer is still going.
yeah,
and,
but there's an accelerometer and there's a speedometer. So yeah, as long as
right.
the wheels are still spinning. But if you just boop, you put like a helicopter with a magnet on it, and you just pulled up a little bit at the right moment, this is still totally implausible.
Right.
And it's just 50 feet. When you're going 50 miles an hour or more, they're going 70 when they hit it.
Yeah.
50 feet's nothing. But yeah, I mean, it's a bus full of people.
Yeah.
They would just auger it into the other side of the thing and all explode and die. There's no way.
It would just be
But
bad.
whatever.
Yeah. And then they go to the airport and everything, and them getting off the bus is very like tense, and of course, they figure out that he's watching, and they get the cameras off of them somehow. And
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
They taped a loop of them on the bus, so he wouldn't figure it out.
Right, but they're under pressure the whole time,
Yes.
and so they can't do it like right, and that's kind of what. Actually, that's the one thing that I didn't really like, is that it doesn't really matter that Dennis Hopper knew or not, because once they get everybody off the bus, he does see that it was a trick, but he can't retaliate. He has to go out and get the money. So like, what was the point in revealing that, really?
Well, that's true.
But whatever. I mean, you can have a couple open-ended things for a movie about people being on a bus that has to stay above 50 and not explode. We don't spend a whole lot of time on the bus. Somebody could probably clock how much time we spend on the bus.
Right.
And I was thinking about this. I think Die Hard, there's a lot of the movies like this. I already gave my thing away. There's a lot of movies like this that have a premise where it's like, we're on a thing, we're on an X, and we can't Y until we Z.
Yeah.
Passenger 57, they're on a plane. Under Siege, they're on a boat. Actually, Under Siege is entirely on a boat. Die Hard and Under Siege stick to their premise in that the entire time they are in this building.
Yes.
Now we can have Dickless go and bug his wife or talk to Al the cop or whatever, or the FBI agents, but like the action stays there. But this is like, there's a little cop movie that's happening before, then he drives to the bus, gets on the bus, and I would think that when screenwriters get together and write these movies, they must go, oh, this is easy. What's our premise? We have to get 50 ducks into a bathtub or whatever. Okay, so think about all the ways that, like, oh, the ducks see some grain and they want to eat this grain. No, we got to get the ducks in there. Oh, the duck has to lay an egg. Oh, and you come up with all these like complications. And you think you'd have a million of them. Trying to get a bus through L.A. traffic in morning rush hour while it stays above 50. It's both an endless source of a premise, and also it's just one thing. You would stop. You can't get through. It's bumper to bumper, 8 lanes.
It's science fiction.
Explode.
In a way.
Yeah. And so they don't overtax themselves because they spend, the middle of the movie, probably 35, 40 minutes on the bus, but then they get the bus to the airport, and then they just drive around and there's no problems. And sure, we're all tense because we're on a bus with a bomb on it, but there aren't going to be any more hiccups in this plan.
Right. And
in fact, I thought that was really smart, taking it to the airport, and they did a really good job of shooting. It must take forever to shoot, but shooting them going in long stretches, and then they have to do a big sweeping turn.
Yes.
And they shot those as well. But there's a couple spots that were kind of weird where they put him in. When they put Jack on the dolly that goes under the bus.
Yeah.
Cool scene. probably weren't. They were going 25, not 50. Still
Probably.
Keanu Reeves.
Whoa.
Well, you see it. You see him get off the truck,
Yeah,
lay
I
down on the
know.
dolly, and
I
the dolly
know.
starts going down.
I know, that's crazy.
But they did one of those inserts where she starts making the big turn, and it's like he's on a rope being pulled through tension. He would just be street pizza.
Yeah, you're right.
There's no way to keep him under the bus at that
No.
point. Yeah, so whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a movie. And it's a movie that, and then once they get off the bus, you're like, the movie's still going?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Now
and
it's
then,
now they're on a train. Speed, because it's speed.
I know. And then they're on the subway train.
Keep this paddle boat above 3 miles an hour. It's like, how many forms of transportation? And we find out in Speed 2.
Yeah. Which is just like, how unlucky is Annie? That's what I want to know. You know? So.
She's taking a vacation with her cop boyfriend. No more of this craziness. Stop it.
Stop dating cops, Annie.
Well,
I mean,
she
guess
lays out her strategy.
I was thinking about
Base the relationship on sex.
Well, yeah, and they say in this film, you know, that relationships that start with intense incidents don't last. And they say it twice, and then they're kind of joking about it. But I guess that's how you can rationalize that they're not together anymore by Speed 2.
Yeah.
But it's like, Annie,
But, you know,
don't date another cop.
we could just speculate and not watch Speed 2
That's
or
true.
make Speed 2,
Yes.
which costs, I'm pretty sure, significantly more than this one cost.
And I'm pretty sure it's more ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always nice to see Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. How many films does he not play the bad guy? That's what I want to know.
The first one I thought was Antichrist, and he's a bad guy. Arguable, The Lighthouse.
Well, that's true.
Jesus is not the bad guy.
Well.
So, Last Temptation. Wait,
Sure.
Let me write something on my list. You think of some films.
With Willem Dafoe not as the bad guy? I can't think of any. Off the top of my head, I don't have a device by me right now, so I can't like
I have a device.
flip through them. And
It's called my brain.
Well, yeah. I just feel like he almost always is the bad guy. So yeah.
So a bad guy isn't good, he's finish it. Finish it.
Bad?
Evil.
Evil.
God, you ruined the
sorry.
bit. Well, so anyway, this is Summertime Lemonade.
Yeah.
It goes down real easy.
Yeah.
I can tell you have nothing else to say about it, and I don't think that's not an indictment of it. It's just
I'd recommend it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for it's a decent action movie. I mean, there are some character moments. Are the characters super developed? Not
yes.
really.
Oh no. Yeah, it's
But
pretty good.
I enjoyed it.
And you're the only person in the world who didn't see it until just now.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Well,
Yeah.
now it's my turn. I'm the only person in the world who hasn't seen Singin' in the Rain.
That's also probably
And that
true.
isn't, don't look up Singing in the Rain. It is Singin' in the Rain.
Oh yeah, you're right. With a little
No
apostrophe.
G.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
a
kinda
movie
silly.
about movies. We're back, everybody.
I was
We're
gonna
back.
say, when we were watching this, I was like, no, this
Back
is another movie about movies,
where
Kyle.
we are. It's also a movie based on the premise that 3 actors invented the process of dubbing.
Yes.
No one had thought of dubbing in the sound era of Hollywood.
Right.
Until Harley Quinn came along. Now,
I
tell me
know.
true. Tell me true.
I thought it too.
You think that's where Arlene Sorkin got the inspiration for her Harley Quinn voice?
I would not be surprised. I mean, I've seen this movie before, and
Congratulations.
yeah, I know. But when she started talking and I was watching it again, I was like, really sounds like Harley Quinn. So yeah,
Yeah. It's too
Yeah.
it's too bad because when you have to be the villain in something, especially something that's like totally light, where everybody's basically nice and fun, and the villain of this film is an actress who is defending her credit on a film.
I know.
Now, she takes it a little too far, but they wanted to, like, take her career away. I'm completely sympathetic with her. It's been a while since I've seen Soap Dish, but I feel like for a lot of Soap Dish, I think I was on Kathy Moriarty's side. Mm-hmm. And then we won't talk about the ending because it does not age well. But, yeah, I feel bad for the character of Lena, and I also feel bad for Jean Hagen, who does a great job.
She's fantastic.
And this, I mean, she's been into a couple other things, but she's not really known for much outside of this.
Well, I think she did a fantastic job in this. And
I like how we're leading off our Singing in the Rain discussion.
I know.
Talking about
number
4 on the casting sheet.
Let me give a brief synopsis of
it.
Singing in the Rain.
Finish it.
Whoa. We started at a movie premiere in the 20s.
Oh my God, you can't do the thing you do.
Oh,
you will break, or I'll learn something, because I have a lot of questions.
All right.
But what if you did like a honest to God Leonard Maltin synopsis of the film?
I'll do my best.
We open on Chinese theater. No,
Thanks,
we open
Cal.
on 3 people in Slickers going, Singing in the Rain. The movie is Singing in the Rain.
All
In case
right.
you didn't know what movie you're going to, it's Singing in the Rain. You know, I'm glad they had that, because, you know, in 1952, if I walked into a theater and like, okay, here we go. Oh, what a beautiful... I'm like, oh, well, I'm in the wrong theater. And I just leave.
Stop. So it's the mid-20s, and films are still silent. And so this is all about Hollywood and actors and performers and that sort of thing.
I got that impression.
The politics
Yes.
behind it. And then a little film called The Jazz Singer came out, and then talkies were all the rage. So it basically follows Gene Kelly, who plays Don Lockwood, and he is a silent film star, and Lena Lamont, who is his lead actress, and they've been in tons and tons of films together. But she has a very grating voice. So she's not going to really work out with talkies, but they go through this whole thing where they're trying to make it work. And then, as you described, Don's then girlfriend, who is she's another actress who is starting out in her career, and she's done some chorus stuff. Kathy Selden, they decide, him and Don Lockwood and his best friend Cosmo, who's the music guy, decide that she is going to dub her voice and her singing, and they're going to turn this turd of a film into a musical. And she's going to dub the singing and the acting of Lena. And so this is all going over well, and then Lena finds out about it and tells the head of the studio that she can sue him if she wants.
You're all the way through the movie.
Yeah.
That was okay. So you just cut out all the musical numbers, and that was...
What?
Don't start laughing so early. Well, I'm just racking my brain. Like when we watch Fast and the Furious, I guess if I tell you to cut out all the car chases, yeah, maybe that would work.
Wow.
Maybe that would work. Then we watch a Tarkovsky film. Cut out all the silences. Okay, all right. No, I'm taking notes here. I'm learning things about our process.
Yeah, okay.
But then they ruin really both Lena and what's her name's careers, Kathy's careers, by revealing on stage at the premiere that Kathy does the singing and talking for Lena, which that's not a good. Singing in the Rain 2 is about lawsuits.
Yeah, I think you're
just
right.
flying lawsuits.
Yeah. We
open on Lena Lamont Studios Incorporated.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This movie has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It is, which is crazy. I'm trying to think of
Here's my rating, 90.
What?
90.
What your rating is 90?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I know it's a different time.
Yes.
But, like the Marx Brothers holds up.
Mm.
This is this kind of big, broad, muggy.
It's very muggy.
Yeah. I don't think the comedy holds up 100%. No, I'm not
parts of
talking.
it
I'm not
do.
talking about when Donald O'Connor is turning himself into a pretzel, and he's making him laugh. Like
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's great.
Yeah.
But it's by Comden and Green, who were stage people and wrote plays and Broadway and stuff like that.
Sure.
And they bring a lot of that energy to this film and a lot of the structure as well. And when I say structure, it's more like it's more like the 90s men's clothing store than a word describing
Wow.
a pattern that you can follow.
Yeah. It's
Just a lot of silk shirts and columns. Oh boy, should we talk about? Let's just talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Let's just skip right to it.
Okay.
When we're watching this film,
Yes.
and it opens like you said at a premiere, good place
Yes.
to open.
Yeah.
Then Dick Tracy the White, Don in his
Yeah.
white trench coat,
Yeah.
ensemble.
And white hat.
Gives a little interview that, which is a little funny look at like him growing up and then him getting his start
Yes.
on vaudeville and playing in clubs and cabarets, and the whole time he's talking about all the wonderful venues that they played at, and there's a dramatic irony going on.
Yes.
Or situational irony. Let's not
Well,
worry about the
what
types
you
of irony.
see on
It's ironic.
Yeah, what you see on
I do think.
Yes.
And then the movie picks up, and we have what I call a Boogie Nights situation.
Whoa.
Boogie Nights is the Singing in the Rain of porn movies.
You didn't buy this.
You didn't buy this last week. So now they've got this big transition in the Hollywood system where they've got to do movies and
The talkies. Yeah.
talkies, and everybody acts like they've never heard sound before. It's a little exaggerated to get the point
I hear your
across
point.
because people in
Yeah.
1952 were dumb, even though many of them remember all of this happening because it was
True.
only a couple years ago.
Right.
Or
It was
a decade
within a lot of their
a decade or
lifetimes.
two.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've got to change all this stuff over. And so long story short, this pick that they're working on, the French Revolution pick is
Yes.
not going to work because the lead actress just comically doesn't understand how a microphone works. And also her voice sucks and her singing is terrible.
I think it was the Dueling Cavalier, and then they changed it to the Dancing
The
Cavalier.
Dancing Cavalier. And
Yeah.
they figure out, hey, you're a song and dance man. Let's make this into a musical.
Yeah.
I've got a trunk full of costumes. We'll do an Uncle Joe's Barn. Wait, that's Judy Garland movie, although he did work with Judy Garland. And so, so they're going to put all this stuff in. And so Don goes to RF, the head of the studio's office, and he's going to pitch him the opening number, the sort of frame story, because it's going to be about a yokel that comes to New York and he gets into Hollywood, and then I guess he gets hit on the head with a sandbag or something like that, and then he dreams that he's a courtier. This will not work. None of this will work. But we get some of the best dance sequences in the film out of it, so who cares? So now at this point he goes, this is what it'll look like, Don. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Now we're watching. Just hold on.
Uh-huh.
We're watching a real-life actor, Gene Kelly,
Yes.
playing an actor in a movie
Yes.
who is describing a movie to his studio head.
Yes.
And in that movie, he plays an actor
Yes.
who is looking for a role.
Yes.
And at one point, there's a scene where he goes to a club, a jazz club, because
Yes.
this is in the 20s. It's all contemporary, the frame story.
Right.
And so he's just hanging around. He's singing about, he's got to dance.
Yeah.
And Sid Charisse comes out, and I'm like, is Sid Charisse? Is he in a movie now? Because we saw The Agent. He wants to be a Broadway star. Is this a play on Broadway? Who is Sid Charisse playing? I need to know this right now. And then in this telling, so it turns out, no, I guess she's just some girl that he met in a bar.
Yeah.
He was celebrating getting hired, I guess. So then we have a little montage that was cute, where he's in like 4 different musicals of different styles.
Yes.
And then he goes to a casino where a party's happening, and Sid Charisse walks in, and then he has a dream sequence inside the retelling, inside of the movie they're trying to fix, inside of Singing in the Rain. Sorry, Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
And it's just...
That all tracks.
It's bug nuts, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's the most amazing dance sequence I've ever seen. I have no idea how they did it. Like, was there fishing line on the end of her scarf? She has a scarf.
Maybe there was.
She has a scarf that's 30 yards long.
How else would you control it besides
And the scarf
wind?
is a third member in this dance.
It is.
Like, they're dancing, and the scarf is going around, and it's... I mean, as I was watching this, I was thinking, like, just my movie head was on. I'm like, these are long takes. Not even thinking about the fact that it's a performance. It has to be long takes.
Right.
If you cut it all together, people would be like, this is BS. Like, anybody can just cut a bunch of things together.
That's very true.
So, yeah. So, in the meantime, Gene Kelly is dancing all over the place, and it's got to be, you do it in sequences. Mm-hmm. So, we reach the end of this sort of bar, or this 8, and then he opens the umbrella, and we can switch to something else.
Yeah.
But I'm watching it, I'm like, these are really long takes. But then I'm watching the dream sequence, I'm like, how are they doing all this stuff? There's a fan that's got to be on a boom,
right.
Or they're just rolling it around or something to keep it, flying out. It's flying away from him. It's flying towards him.
Yes.
Then he's wrapped up in it, and it's just,
I know,
unbelievable.
I know they had to control
90%.
where it went. Yeah, you're gonna keep.
Well, I mean, look,
shoving
those parts were 90%. Amazing.
They were. There's some amazing sequences in this. During Gotta Laugh, when Cosmo, like, runs up the walls, and then he, like, runs through a wall.
Again, we don't do trivia on the show, so I don't know, but...
I think he actually did that.
I know that Val Kilmer is on a rig in Top Secret, and I think... I'm pretty sure that Steve Martin is on a rig in Man with Two Brains when he does that. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. He's really horned up because she won't have sex with him. And he's like, bah!
And he just walks up a wall.
Flips up a wall.
Yeah, okay.
Right. I mean, he was like a mime and a clown. Uh-huh. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just... I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I see what everybody sees in it.
Yeah. There's a lot of really great points in it. I think the majority of the songs in it are pretty great.
Yes. Except for the, you were sent to me or whatever. The love songs.
It's not as good.
And I noticed something. Gene Kelly is an okay singer.
Just okay?
But yeah. I don't think that he's not that good.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's got a nice voice, but he can't do what some of these other people can do. And if you look at his bio, he's a dancer, actor of film, stage and television, singer. It's like fifth.
Yeah, right.
Director, producer, screenwriter, yada yada yada.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's fine, but Debbie Reynolds, way better, and
she's fantastic,
and Don O'Connor is great. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the whole thing. It doesn't really matter. It's like when you've got him and Hokey Cosmo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're a double act.
Yes, so we see them
Cosmo's
dancing and working off of each other a lot.
And only one of a double act has to sing. And if you're Dean Martin, that's all you're bringing. No, we love Dean.
Aww. But yeah, like Good Morning, I think, is a really great song.
There's so many songs that I didn't even realize were from Singing in the Rain.
Right. What is that one in the beginning where she's doing, like, the little dance routine at the party, and it's like, I Dream of You or something like that? Yeah. Like, that wasn't bad. Of course, Singing in the Rain. But there's...
Oh, yeah, Singing in the Rain.
But there's other stuff, too. I mean, I think the Gotta Dance song... The Gotta Dance. That's the best part of it. And then the rest of it's just kind of okay. But
wow.
But the costumes were amazing. Like the sets. I like how, they really try to, like, some of, like, part of the production that he's talking about to the head of the studio.
Who's the worst studio head ever?
He's not great. He just lets people walk all over him.
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm in charge around here.
Yeah.
Okay, you do whatever you want.
Right. But during that sequence, some of the sets were, like, a lot of the sets were painted, and you could tell they were painted. And I thought that was a really neat touch.
Yeah, no, they definitely, like, track in some way the level of artifice as we go. It's Rainception.
It is.
As we go deeper and deeper into the dreams, things get more... archetypical.
Yes.
Until they're just, it's a painting of it's a suggestion of a bar and a club.
Yes.
And then it wraps up nice, with he comes out of the thing and they're flipping the coins. So it's you asked about the coin flip. It's Scarface did that in the 30s version. George Raft played Scarface, and that's where the coin flip thing comes from.
Okay.
So it doesn't make any sense because this is the 20s before George Raft was in Scarface.
Right.
But they did flip the coins on the beat, which I thought was the best part.
That was great.
That was really weird. But yeah, and then he comes out of the party and he can't have the girl because she's with the gangster or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then another like yokel comes out, gotta dance, blah, 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 gotta dance. And he's like, all right, gotta dance.
And then everybody starts dancing.
Yeah, and then everybody comes out and then dances. Dogs are dancing.
Then he flies up into the
air. This is the funny thing, because that is a huge like boom move, that comes back out.
Yeah.
And all the signs are kind of set up in perspective, so they sort of frame the stage.
Yes.
Could you not do that move with him on a cherry picker or something like that? Because they just green screened it or blue screened it. They just kind of comped it in.
Right, and they froze all the dancers in the background.
Fine. It's only a dream.
Right,
Maybe in his dream he's like, no, we can't get the cherry picker. So
his dream they can't do it.
Dream bigger. It's his Rainception.
Yeah, I know, right? I wish watching it again, and I know it's really Don Lockhart's story, so we follow him the whole time, even though we do get a song and dance number that's just Cosmo. I think it would have been nice just watching it now if we had a song and dance number that was just Kathy. But
right. Well, did you like the romance that is basically sealed up at the end of the first act, maybe early second act, and is never challenged throughout the entire movie?
I know.
And what's the conflict in this film? Them just finally getting rid of this actress who, like I said before, is only defending her intellectual property.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah, a little frustrated by that.
Yeah.
And we did achieve blackface. But here's the best part. It wasn't, let's just talk about hate crimes. It wasn't actually blackface. There was Spanish face.
Right.
He was fighting in the original movie that we see, his last picture. He's playing a Spanish count or whatever, and then all the guys he's fighting are in real heavy bass. Which, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, when they go, the last day that they still make silent pictures before they call the whole thing off, he goes to the studio, and they do that. It's a good
good
setup.
shot. Yeah.
But it's weird that they go right to left instead of left to right. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because it's Western pictures, you go left to right usually instead of right to left. But so they're walking through the studio, and then we see they're shooting a war film, they're shooting a baseball film,
right?
But they start off on we're shooting a jungle film, and it's a bunch of guys in black leotards, and it's
right.
That's black lace.
Yeah,
no, that's black. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's as close as you can get to.
So we did
it. Yeah,
I knew we'd do it. It's no White Christmas, but
no,
or Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn. It's Holiday
Everybody
Inn.
makes that mistake.
Yeah,
that racist mistake.
Wow. There's also a part early on. It's in the scene where Dawn and Kathy first meet, and he's trying to get away from crazy fans, and he jumps into her car.
Yeah.
And after she knows who he is, and she basically tells him in so many words that she's not really that impressed with him. And he says something, he kind of reaches for her, and he says something he could more or less molest her if he wanted to.
He wasn't going to do anything.
But it was
it's Gene Kelly, he's harmless.
I know, but don't even. Why are you even?
I suppose.
Why is this here?
We forgot to mention a couple things.
Yes.
One of them was the Moses supposes his toes are roses song.
Yeah.
Song and dance, which was incredible.
So
and they put all that stuff on him, and then they put the A vowel thing on him, and at the end they just go, "Hey!"
That was great. So they talk about how diction coaches are there's something in the newspaper because now that there's talkies, their diction coaches are really big, and but that was great. I liked how his diction coach, unlike Lena's, was all about tongue twisters and stuff like that.
I know we have to understand why Lena's not going to go forward in this age, and I can't remember. There were there are a couple famous silent idols that did not advance.
Yeah, right. This
You
actually
cannot
happened to some
advance,
people. Yeah.
1.0 because they couldn't talk, and I don't want to finger anybody right now, but there's some. But this movie leans pretty heavily on the understanding, on audio-based comedy, let's say.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people in 1952, audio engineers. So you got to talk into the mic. Now you got to talk to them that way. Into the bush! I thought that was pretty interesting, especially when I think they figured out ADR pretty early in Hollywood.
Probably.
That they could just do. I think
They
there's even
do
like
it in
audio
post.
tricks and stuff like in the Jazz Singer. Like people,
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I could believe it.
What else? I don't think I've ever seen a Gene Kelly movie before.
Oh, really?
Well, what would it have been?
Yeah, I mean, good question.
Was he in like one of those, like Mad World or something?
I don't know.
Was he in all the celebrities film? So never having really like considered him before, I think he looks like Sean Connery a little bit. He's got Sean Connery.
I can kind of see that.
He's got a little Antonio
the
Banderas.
dark hair. Yeah.
And he's got a lot of Jean Dujardin. We did it. Nailed it. He's got a lot of Adele Dazeem. He's got a lot of... No, the guy from The Artist.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny that
Yeah.
he's, a talky guy, but he's got I think he's got a real silent picture star
He does.
face.
He's got a
So-
strong face.
I was going to do my bit where I remake Singing in the Rain. It's about porn in the 70s. They already did it.
Yeah.
Go back in time. Pre-make Face Off.
Uh-oh.
Sean Connery. Get him out of Darby O'Gill and the Little People. Get Gene Kelly in here. Put lifts under his lifts. Because Sean Connery's like 6'4". And we've got it.
We got face off. All right.
And then the diction coach is like, no, it's like this. Well, my name is Gene Kelly. Like, I can't do this. There's no guns. It's they have to switch shows. They're both dancing actors, or one's a serious actor, one's a dance actor, and they have to swap. One is off. Every show's a pitch.
Yes.
One is off. It's a Prince and the Pauper story. One is off Broadway. He's a struggling guy. He's trying to make it happen. He's doing Brecht or something.
Sure.
And the other guy is gonna sing and dance.
Yeah, right.
And then so they swap, and we'll see how they do.
I see. That'd be tough.
No, I want your life. Whoa.
Yeah,
Why is the
right.
ghost light going on and off? Yeah. It's a Freaky Friday situation.
Yes.
Every show.
Yes, exactly.
We gotta wrap it up. What else? Anything else?
I enjoy this movie. I guess I would want to know specifically why is this a 90 and not a 100? Besides the other, I guess we've talked about
Because
it.
here's a question: which has better character development, this or Speed? Oh, now you know why it's 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
I guess it's a musical, but
yes,
yeah.
There's a long tradition of musicals being
This is this character.
fairly light.
This is this character.
But that's what's
Yeah.
cool about, I guess, Andrew Lloyd Webber, and Bob Fosse and Michael Schoenberg and all these guys who what if musicals were also dramatic and you cried
Right.
when you watched them and not
Right.
just ooh, we're the
Not
clang
just-
clang clang with the trolley.
Right, not just showcases for the musical numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I might go 95. I don't want to break anybody's heart. But that's the only reason. And yeah, also what if this is you're literally doing a 50s film set in the 20s.
Yeah.
Why isn't this Screwball? Why isn't this, I think it's
see.
got the spirit of a Preston Sturges, par example.
Mm-hmm.
But then that means that the guy and the girl have to clash more. And they immediately make Debbie Reynolds just well, I'm dating a movie star. And that's pretty much it.
I know.
She should we should move everything that happens to the middle when she finds out that she'll just be dubbing. And RF, the studio head, is I would never do that to my actresses. Really?
Right.
You're a studio head. You should be sleeping with these girls. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
So instead, he's sure, we got to keep Lena on board. And now, Mindy... I don't know, Kathy. It's Kathy. Come on. Chocolate.
Wow.
Now she's mad about that, so she's gonna, plot something, and now they're not speaking to each other, and he's trying to get her
Right.
back, but she's mad about that, and it all just works out at the end because
Well, and it works out like a little bit too quickly in the end there too. Like they do that reveal, which, as you said, is kind of detrimental to both Lena and Kathy in a lot of ways.
The studio looks like shit.
It looks horrible,
Yes.
and they look horrible, and understandably, they both run off the stage, and Kathy is crying, and Don is like,
not great.
"Stop that girl!" And he's like, "She's the one." Blah blah blah. And then
Yeah.
also, I'm going to start singing to you now and professing my love, and you're going to turn around and come back to me, and we're going to sing together, and everybody's going to love it.
Yeah. Everything's fine.
The end.
Is Cradle Will Rock on your list, or do I have to watch it even though I've seen it so you can see it?
It's not on my list. Should it be on my list?
It really should be.
Okay, I can add it to my list.
You're a theater kid.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a theater kid too.
Yeah.
And when I watch films like this, I regret all the years I spent trying to become a better actor.
Why?
Because I could have been dancing. I was going to say singing and dancing. I've been singing since I was a tiny little child.
Yeah, I've been singing a long time too.
But when I watch films like this, I'm like, not I could do that, but like I wish that I had tried to do that.
I took dance classes. I was rubbish at it.
Well,
I
good
was
for you.
Absolutely rubbish at it.
I didn't. I mean, I've done musicals and I've danced, but I haven't had like solid training. I didn't go to conservatory or anything like that. And I wish I had sometimes.
Yeah.
If I had actually gone to an acting school for college, I would have gotten more training and then
That's
would have been
true.
able to decide whether,
if you wanted to do that or not.
maybe I could pursue this, or I'll just give me that skull, to be or not to be. But I just went that way by default and never got a chance to.
I see.
To do
you
this.
never really got to choose
Yeah.
between the two.
And I've taken dance classes,
Yeah.
and I want to take them now, but nobody can.
Well, no, nobody can.
But anyway, yeah, I just get a little wistful and a little stressed out too.
It's just the
watching
idea.
watching them do this,
Oh.
do all the stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like, ooh, I just think about myself doing that.
I would be so stressed out. So stressed out.
Especially if Gene Kelly was yelling at you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what you said.
I had heard that Gene Kelly was mean to Debbie Reynolds during the filming of this, and he was really critical, especially of her dancing, and apparently she danced so hard that her feet bled.
But you're just dancing.
Yeah.
I've danced hard until my feet bled.
Okay.
I read that Kelly was sick with 103 fever when he was doing the Singing in the Rain part.
Well, that seems like stupid because you're just getting red, so you're going to get more sick.
You gotta.
I know
do
you're
it.
on a schedule, so
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. I love the Singing in the Rain part.
You never acted
too.
sick before? You haven't acted enough.
I'm sure I did. I don't remember though, so maybe I didn't.
I'll act sick now.
All right. Thank you for that. I know it's the spits that sell it.
That's what sells it.
Yep.
Well, that's it for our show tonight.
Not
It
COVID.
ain't over till the
Not
fat guy
COVID.
pukes. And we will maybe be back in the future. Only a couple more times, probably. And in the meantime, you can find us on social media at Just Enough Trope and all those good places. Check out our shows. Rate, subscribe, and review on iTunes and other places. And I think that's about it. Until next time, stay healthy and stay safe.
Because I'm taking too long.